Everyone's still waiting for the Bitcoin 4-year cycle to peak in 2025, but history may have just changed its rhythm. The data is showing that every Bitcoin cycle is getting longer. And if this pattern holds, the next peak won't come until sometime in 2026. If you're still betting on a Bitcoin top in 2025, you could be on the wrong side of one of the biggest shifts in Bitcoin's history. So in this video, I'm going to show you the actual data that shows the cycle has changed and also share when I believe the top of the cycle will hit. I'll also share how to position yourself before the market wakes up. Most investors are still married to that 4-year cycle. They boom, bust, repeat. But the truth is that pattern was broken years ago. When we look at the actual data, we can see that every bear market bottom to Bitcoin top has lengthened by 6 months for each cycle. And in about 60 seconds, I'm going to show you the math that predicts Bitcoin's next peak and why 2026 may be the real blow off top, not 2025. But real quick, I'm Monty from the Blockchain Boardroom. I help business leaders and accredited investors make sense of crypto simply without the hype. I've traded and managed millions of dollars in crypto portfolios. And I've helped dozens of business leaders master the world of crypto. And just a quick note, this is not financial advice, this is for education purposes only. From the bear market lows in 2011 to the peak lasted about 749 days. That was the first cycle. Cycle 2 stretched out over 847 days from low to high. Cycle 3 from low to high ran for about 1,064 days. Every cycle has been adding months to the timeline. Right now, we're at about 1,070 days into this cycle, and many people are shouting, it's all over. We've hit the peak. However, if the pattern plays out from previous cycles, contrary to popular belief, we actually won't hit the peak until 2026. If we use a linear regression model, we can see it peaking about March 2026. If we use a quadratic model, which accounts for acceleration between cycles, we're going to see the top around September 2026. Using this chart, we can see Bitcoin's current value, the fair value, and the probable upper or lower prices. Using some different charts, we can see the fair market value is around $97,000, with the upper band being over $220,000. By March 2026, a lot changes though. The fair value goes to about 106, where the upper band sits between 174,000 and 225,000 per coin. If the quadratic cycle holds and extends to nearly 1,400 days in this cycle, the fair value stretches even further to 126,000, with the upper band being between 199,000 and $272,000 per coin. These aren't wild moonshot predictions. These are projected numbers based on Bitcoin's historical charts. And here's the psychological factor that most people miss. The longer the Bitcoin price grinds upwards, the longer those high prices feel normal. Investors get comfortable, leverage builds, and patience fade. That's typically fuel for that euphoric blow off top. And I believe it's possible that is still ahead of us. I've been public about buying Bitcoin under $3,000 a coin, buying Ethereum under $70 a coin, buying Binance coin under $19 a coin that's now well over $1,200, and countless other massive gains by following strategic guidance and by looking at the actual data. And if this analysis is helping you understand where we are in the cycle and you want to go deeper and leverage this strategy in your own portfolio, that's exactly what we help our students do. In our DeFi Accelerator program, I help business leaders understand crypto and DeFi in a deep strategic way so they can deploy their own portfolios and make sure they know what's coming next, not what's already passed. There's a link in the description below to book a call with me or my team. Now, the price day-to-day or the talking heads can really scare people into selling their coins, but let's look at what the big money's doing, not what they're saying. There's been a lot of talk of this crypto structure bill, which will give regulatory clarity so that more big money can enter the space, and the Senate committee is releasing a market structure draft. This is the United States government. We've got traditional large banks like SoFi becoming the first nationally chartered bank to launch Bitcoin and crypto trading services. Remember, watch what they do, not what they say. This is just one recent of many publicly traded companies raising money for their own Bitcoin treasuries. We've got other countries getting in on this Bitcoin and crypto train, including Britain. And look at the type of buys coming from giant financial institutions. BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK bought almost $500 million on this most recent Bitcoin dip. Everyone's getting shaken out, and big money is gobbling up those tokens. And arguably the biggest news of the day is JP Morgan releasing their own JPM coin. This is one of the biggest banks in the entire world. Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO, has been very critical of Bitcoin and crypto in general, said it was rat poison. Now, literally releasing their own cryptocurrency. The writing is on the wall here. If this video is opening your eyes to the world of crypto, I recommend you check out my other video called Why Wall Street's Quietly Building with Crypto, where I show you how financial giants and institutions are using DeFi to gain a competitive edge that most people don't even know exists. Because once you see how traditional finance is merging with decentralized finance, you will never look at the Bitcoin cycles the same way again.